A little bit of a fire. Welcome all. Got the rotary car up on the lift. Hopefully almost done putting it on the lift. I don't know. Still playing around with it. But today, figuring out how to put the Honda Talon brakes from little car onto rotary car. Now there is some differences. First off, the little car, this was a drum brake car. So this hub and spindle are different. This one have this custom bracket with the rotor hat and everything bolts up. Pretty easy. But now I got this one all apart. We're missing the hub. And this is the hub and disc assembly. Bolts onto the back side. I figured out wheel studs push through the hub, and then basically the disc holds it together. And somebody put bigger wheel studs in this car, and they had to grind it down a little bit. No big deal, whatever. But the parts car we saved all the front suspension off from that, and I experimented with this hub. I turned the back side of it down so it's flat, and this rotor hat actually fits onto it from the back side. So that means I have to take the wheel studs out of the hub, put them in the rotor hat, push them through. No big deal. But the spacing between the rotor hat and the caliper bracket is actually farther on the disc brake Austin Healey's or MG Midgets. And after some measurements and playing around with the Honda Talon caliper bracket, mating surface, machined flat surface, this is what it's got bolt to. This is what the original caliper mounted to. Do a flat plate from here out, and then a 7/8 spacer to that. I think it'll work. Now that's assuming we turn the same off the back to smooth it up. But it actually, I think, will be pretty simple. So I can chuck this up on the lathe, turn that flat, get this flat plate from this bolt pattern, to this larger Talon bolt pattern, which would just be flat plate. Turn us some couple spacers on the lathe, and we can have Talon brakes on the front of a disc brake Austin Healey. Trying to build a drive shaft here with parts and pieces, trying to do it as cheaply as possible. Hopefully we can get it balanced up. But original Austin Healey drive shaft, real small yoke. Cannot get an adapter from this to this conversion yoke for Mazda 5-speed transmission. This uses a Chrysler style U-joint. I think the number was 7620 or something like that, which is used on a lot of smaller Dodge trucks and Jeeps. Started poking around, ended up finding a drive shaft in Rob's pile of parts, and I ended up cutting it up. So this is the front yoke of the drive shaft and the U-joint from that drive shaft, which actually fits in there. But then I started looking at it, cut the original Austin Healey drive shaft because that has this flange and small U-joint to mount to the rear axle. Somehow we need to connect those together. Now I could build up a little adapter. It's that diameter, step it down to that. That's a big chunk of steel. This is big, ugly. So I started looking. This is the yoke off this drive shaft, which is from a Jeep, we believe. That almost fits inside there. So I'm thinking, if I clean the inside of this up, turn this down just a little bit, slide her in there, that'll actually help make it straight, as long as I can cut this diameter down straight. Yoke turned down a little bit on the lathe, right down into the splines. Haven't broke it off yet. This diameter will slide up in here. That's a decent amount. Do some rosette welds in there, and that should hold pretty good. With the length of this being what it is, that should actually straighten it. So we should be pretty good. But corrugated lines, a little harder than I thought. Break that off, see if it fits. There is a groove down inside here where it's welded together, so you're gonna have to line this up with yoke to yoke, and then cut that groove into here. So I'll get onto that, then see if this actually fits. Inside here, there's that little welded seam from where they weld the pipe together. So cut a little groove inside here. So this will slide in to that spot. Fitment is really nice, so a little bit of heat should slide right in. Maybe some more heat. After a little hammering and beating, and still need to do some welding, we have a Jeep yoke. Transmission side is the drive shaft, and then Mazda RX-7 front. And this is the rear suspension's fully drooped out. And we have, it's kind of tight, but it's actually not bad. Of course, the car's gonna be lowered, so it'll straighten out, but I think we have a drive shaft. Weld it up, bolt it down, and we have a connection from the front to the back. And that's how you do the wrong thing the wrong way. Rotary car, we're waiting on delivery of a couple parts. Brake master, clutch master, Mazda slave for the clutch. Well, it's basically all the hydraulic stuff. The car runs, do have drive shaft in it. We got gauges, we got seat, we got roll bar. Oh, we had a good Christmas and a good New Year's, so a lot of things were added to it. Do have a little fuel leak on the bottom of the fuel pump, so it needs a gasket there. Exhaust is in it. If we can get the rear axle out of this car and little car, swap that axle, we'll have the brakes on here, run some brake lines, and this car will actually be done. Drivable. And we're supposed to get us a few inches of snow. So perfect timing. We'll have to do some light wiring, but I think the autocrosses are mostly during the day, so shouldn't need lights. Maybe for driving around on the road. Windshield. I guess I need a windshield. But getting closer. Little car, still need to get the radiator patched up. It's just been sitting here for the past couple months. And then put the original drum brakes back on this car, or consider getting more Talon brakes. I really don't know what to do on that one. But yeah, we're getting some things done. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of the fun. We might end up seeing if these, flip you around again. We might be seeing how well these tires work in the snow. Or challenge is see if Rotary car can get out of the garage moving. Rob's Cutlass already moves. We already backed it out of the garage, but he hasn't really drove it. I think I might silently try and get this going first. Thanks for watching.